Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, professional astrologer, psychic healer, and yogi. Welcome to part 2 of the podcast episodes, Saturn transits Aries, the 2026 planetary paradigm shift. I explained the significance collectively of Saturn transiting in Aries from February 13, 2026 to April 12, 2028. It is the second of 5 big planetary shifts during 2026. This episode is when I explain the impact of what Saturn in Aries means for each zodiac sign, so stay tuned. Welcome to the episode on what Saturn in Aries means for your sun sign. In the previous episode, Saturn in Aries, Part 1, 2026, Planetary Paradigm Shift, I talked about how we are in a time of 2026's catalytic astrological evolution as Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter, and the lunar nodes all change signs within the first 7 months of 2026. So Saturn will be in Aries from February 13, 2026 to April 12, 2028. It's really important to know what it means for your sun sign. And as a lifelong astrologer, I've sussed it out for you, so you're going to want to listen to hear what it means for you. And the way I did this is basing it on the solar chart for each zodiac sign, meaning that sign is the first sign in the zodiac wheel. And then it is analyzed where Aries falls in which house of that chart. And houses 1 through 12, with each house representing a different arena of life and experience. Also, if you know your moon sign or rising sign, you definitely want to listen for the forecast for that sign as well. So if your moon is in Aries, here I am, my moon's in Aries. I'm going to be listening to what astrologer Jill Jardine shares about Saturn in Aries for the next 2 years. And if you happen to know your rising sign, you're going to want to listen as well. And if you don't, well, this is your opportunity to have a reading and find that all out, including the degrees of what is your sun, what is your moon, what is your rising. And you can contact me at jilljardineastrology.com. The other thing I do when I do readings, I look at Sabian symbols. It's really important to know the degrees. There's 30 degrees of each sun sign, making 360 degrees of the zodiac. So there's interpretations for all of those 360 degrees, and we will look those up. There's different people with their different systems, but it's fascinating because it tells you a little bit about the archetypes that are operative in your life, throughout your life, and especially when it's being activated by an outer planet. There's so much out there these days about astrology, but a lot of people don't know the intricacies of reading a chart. So it's really important to know the broad strokes, but also the specific details for your own chart. And that's what a seasoned astrologer can provide. So when you're ready, let's jump into this. And you may want to share this for sure with your friends because it's a pivotal time on the planet. And by the way, go back and listen to my previous podcast on Neptune transiting through Aries, which is happening from 2026 for 12 years. That takes us to 2039. But in 2026, Neptune and Saturn will be cavorting together, hand in hand in Aries. So what I share in this podcast and what Saturn in Aries means for each sun sign is enhanced because Neptune, the outer planet, is also going through Aries. And that previous podcast was recorded with the whole explanation of Neptune in Aries as well as the sun sign forecast, where this one was broken into 2 separate episodes. So check it out. So here we go. Aries, CAG. You're it, Aries. Saturn will spend the best part of the next 2 years traveling through your sign. You will be tested for sure. You may lose something that is dear to you. Sorry not to be a Debbie Downer, but Saturn sometimes requires that we let go of what no longer serves or what is not functional. Saturn is a very functional planet. It's about discipline, hard work, structure, form, what you want to bring into manifestation. So Aries, everything in your life will be reevaluated to see if it is worth keeping. This means relationships will be tested as Libra rules relationships, the opposite sign for you, Aries. Are your relationships supportive to who you are becoming in your life? Also, because it is transiting your solar first house of self, that means every aspect of your life, including your body. So, take good care of your health, as symptoms or issues can arise. Don't put off getting medical attention or seeing your health practitioners. This is huge for you, Aries. It's a core life cycle. You're reevaluating your own identity, your personal influence, where you're going, your goals, your ambitions. Everything is up for reevaluation. This is a time to really get clear about who you are, what you want, how to come in alignment with that. And as you are the impulsive one of the Zodiac, you may have to temper that with structure and strategy. You go, Aries. It is your time. As long as you get very real, and if there's anything you need to learn, Saturn, as the great taskmaster teacher, be open to it. Don't suffer unnecessarily, but reorganize your life so that you can make some great headway at this time. Taurus. Saturn is transiting through your house of karma, which is the 12th house in your solar chart. The karmic lord Saturn will teach lessons and may give you something or take it away. So if there are losses that are unexpected, grieve and move on and let go of the past. Because in 2 years, in 2028, Saturn will go through your house of self. However, if you have been more giving and loving to others, Saturn will reward you with unexpected gifts. Watch for self-sabotage tendencies or what's hidden. This could be a very powerful spiritual time for you, Taurus, when you witness miracles and see the strong connection between the physical plane and spiritual realms. You are walking between worlds of the physical and non-physical reality. You may want to incubate or cocoon at times and not take in external noise, especially media of all types, mainstream, social, alternative medias. You may want to turn that down and listen to your own inner guidance. Your intuition could get very, very fine-tuned during this time. It is a time of internal restructuring and looking at resources so you can manage them, rebuilding your internal compass and confidence. You're looking at the past and present and straddling both worlds. What to release, what to step into. And you may be in a liminal space of the unknown. So embrace it. This is a very potent cycle, and a lot is happening behind the scenes. So use Saturn and Aries to get clear about your goals and tune in to your internal compass, Taurus. Gemini. Saturn transits your house of friends, associations, groups, and the future. So Saturn can help you to plan your future. Perhaps you have outgrown certain friends or associations. Or there are lessons to learn that friends and groups will teach you. Watch for addictive tendencies, Gemini. And watch for being too externally focused and not internally referred. Saturn may crack the whip and make you work hard and long when you just feel like escaping from it all. Make decisions that work for you without denying or sidestepping responsibility. Friendships and social circles are refined. Saturn will demand you evaluate who and what supports you for your long-term growth. You get really clear about quality over quantity. Also, Gemini, you have another transit that's going to rock your world approaching at the end of April when Uranus goes into Gemini, especially if you're a May Gemini. So that's going to add another flavor to the transit of Saturn going through Aries, as will Neptune through Aries. So there's a lot of spokes on your wheel right now, Gemini. Stay centered, stay focused, and discipline yourself when future forecasting. Cancer. Saturn will throw an aspect to your sun called the square in astrology, which tends to be challenging. For 2026, those born in the early part of Cancer, who are born from June 21st to July 5th, will be impacted and may have some challenges. Specifically, those June Cancers will feel the square from Saturn and Neptune, both transiting Aries to your natal sun. Saturn will transit your house of career, so you may experience challenges in your work life or business. You may be forced to make changes or quit a job situation under duress. You could use this transit to recreate your career life if you have been unhappy in your job or chosen path. Saturn will connect you to your true dharma or life purpose. Situations and circumstances may take you to a new professional or worldly path, kicking and screaming. The more you resist the changes, the more lessons Saturn will hand out. You could also become an authority in your career or your life, or take on more responsibilities and power, or simply retire from it all. Career and reputation take center stage. Growth may feel heavy, but hard work pays off. Leadership and discipline show their value. Leo, Saturn transits your house of education and travel, so it's time to plan, plot out, and go on those long-awaited trips. Journeys far and wide beckon you. Retreats by the water, on the water, or in the water beneficial now. Also, ideally, by the water and sitting in front of a huge fire can bring what you need to you. Fire sign Leo, Your friend Aries is lighting your fire and igniting new energies, which includes new trainings or educational pursuits or degrees to pursue. Saturn will give you the discipline to matriculate, undertake, and follow through. This is also occurring, Saturn in Aries, in your sector of legal issues. So be aware if you are involved in lawsuits or have to pursue legal intervention of some sort, to do it carefully, and if at all possible, you could put it off until Saturn leaves Aries, which isn't for 2 more years. But hire those legal experts who have seen it all, those who are experienced. Saturn likes the tried and true. You will also experience expansion through learning, travel, higher education, and creative pursuits. This is a period of building depth and structure in areas that are about your long-term vision, and also lots of proof in the pudding when it comes to higher mind, your vision, travel, and clarity of the future. Virgo. Virgo, Saturn transits through your house of death, rebirth, and transformation. So all of this is on your menu for the next 2 years. Saturn, the Grim Reaper, may take friends or loved ones from you during this transit. It will seem like more and more people are dying. You may also experience the death of a relationship or some aspect of your life. The good news is that you can be transformed and experience a rebirth in some area or all realms of your life. Financially, Saturn says neither a borrower nor lender be during this transit. Get your money house in order and watch for unnecessary expenses. Focus on financial discipline, organization, and security foundations. This might involve budgeting, long-term planning, or revising your financial future. Hi there, this is Jill Jardine, host of Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine Podcasts. I just wanted to let my listeners know that I published a book, Sacred Sound Formulas to Awaken the Modern Mind. It's available at Amazon and through my new website, JillJardine.com. That's right. Go on to JillJardine.com and buy the book. Visit and see all the other goodies we have on that new site. Check it out. Libra. Saturn will oppose your sun, which is a challenging aspect. For most of 2026, those born in the early part of Libra, September 21st to October 5th, will be impacted and may have some challenges. Specifically, those September Libras will feel the opposition from Saturn and Neptune, both opposing your sun as they come from the sign Aries. Saturn transits your relationship house, so there will be tests in relationships, partnerships, and the other. A relationship or marriage could end, but you could also solidify a relationship or find yourself in a committed partnership during this cycle. Make sure your relationships don't demand too much from you. Ideally, the giving and receiving in relationships are in a balanced flow and no one is taking too much. Watch for overgiving or self-sacrificing to maintain relationship. Relationships and all connections will certainly come under review. You have to look at the dynamics to see if they are working for you and reevaluate and analyze all your connections. Scorpio, Saturn transits your house of health and service. This is the time to be vigilant with your health and take good care of your physical body. Respond to any health issues or symptoms promptly. Don't put off visits to doctors or other health practitioners. Tweak your supplement and diet regimes. Move your body. Also, if you want to clear karma, offer selfless service to others in need. Health, routines, and work structures may need adjusting. It's an excellent time to institute discipline into routines, daily habits, wellness practices and enhance your efficiency and effectiveness in your day-to-day life, Scorpio. Sagittarius. Saturn transits your house of children, of body, mind, or spirit, recreation, and creativity. It's time to turn the focus to your creative aspirations and find ways to bring them to fruition. However, you will have to be very disciplined in bringing forth your creative pursuits. You may be spending more time around children, whether they are your own or other people's kids. You are clearly seeing the responsibility and commitment of having or raising children and the importance of discipline. Love, creativity, and personal joy are reevaluated. This period could bring in a serious commitment related to partnerships or creative projects that you are structuring. Time to write that book, Sagittarius. Capricorn. Saturn will throw an aspect to your sun called the square in astrology, which tends to be challenging. For most of 2026, those born in the early part of Capricorn, December 21st to January 5th, you'll be impacted and may have some challenges. Specifically, those December Capricorns will feel the square from both Saturn and Neptune transiting through Aries. This is affecting your solar fourth house. Capricorn, Saturn is transiting your house of home and family. You might find yourself having more responsibilities with family members, whether aging parents, siblings, or your children. It's a good time to fix any problems with your home or dwelling. Situations or issues with your home could come up during this cycle. Sometimes one has to move when Saturn transits this arena due to circumstances out of your control. If a move is necessary during this time, there may be complications with finding another place to live. If one chooses to move, they may have more options than if they are forced to move during this time. Family, home, and responsibilities at the base level are highlighted. You may take charge in domestic spheres or revisit legacy and stability matters with serious focus, Capricorn. Aquarius. Saturn is focusing on your house of siblings, communication, transportation, and education. It's a good time to focus on pursuing education, not necessarily a degree, but trainings, workshops, and other shorter durational educational responsibilities. You could also become a teacher of something that you have studied for a long time. And it may not be necessarily a college professor teacher, but you can share workshops, online teachings, and other ways of getting the message out. You're fine-tuning your communication abilities. There could be issues with your siblings, which you have to get involved with, or a sibling is having a challenging time. In general, you are being asked to refine all communications so that you're clear and concise. Your communications could be more powerful than usual, and you might find an outlet for writing or speaking. It's a time of disciplined study, communication mastery, writing, and short-distance travel. Review all agreements and contracts carefully before committing, and really find your voice and find your power in the realm of communication of all types. Pisces. Saturn is transiting your house of money, resources, and values. Get very prudent where you are spending your money. Try to cut out extra expenses or lavish spending. Also, you could make a lot of money during this cycle if you focus on doing so and tighten your belt. Watch for leaky boat syndrome, where money comes in, but it flows right out again. You may notice your value system changing, and what you spent money on in the past is no longer appealing to you. Try to stash money away and certainly save for a rainy day. Financial discipline and boundary setting around resources are key. Frugal planning and building sustainable habits can now pay long-term dividends, Pisces. I hope you enjoyed this episode on what Saturn and Aries means for your zodiac sign. Remember to download, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star review. This is Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, sending spontaneity and structure, Saturnian values, and healing into the quantum field.